Hey, party people. How's it going? It's Ryu with Ryu's Rant of the Week for January 21st, 2023. Where to begin? It's been a crazy fucking week. All right, as usual, we're going to start with my favorite topic planet shitness. Never, ever lacking for a source of what the fuck moments when I go to this place. I've changed up my routine now, so basically, it's screwing up doing fasted cardio in the morning because I go to Powerhouse now in Chicopee, Mass, and do my weights in the morning. Great place to work, hardcore gym, sinking money after money after money into new equipment. They just got a shitload of chest equipment in last week, some new leg pieces. This week, I was like, oh my God, a bunch of new back stuff. Had a great back workout. I do my training in the morning, and then I'll come home, go to work, have my meal, go to work. At the end of the day, I'll take my wife. We'll do cardio at Planet Fitness, and then I'll run her through her routine of the day at Planet Fitness. Twice a week, we train with one of her friends who hires me as a personal trainer. And for the ladies, it passes. It's not too bad. But the idiocy at this place, dear God. Where do I start? All right. Um, this Friday, I was finished. I did a two a day. I did back at Powerhouse Gym. Went back in the afternoon. Instead of doing cardio, I finished up my weights for the week by doing shoulders while my wife did cardio. Um, Finished up. Her friend was a no show that day. So I decided I'd run my wife through her routine. I was finishing up on the rope crunch machine, and I see this guy walk in. Huge, huge, tall guy, about six, had to be 6'3", white guy, not really very muscular. He's got a little weight on him. He's quasi athletic looking. Had his short shorts on, his tank top, and he sits down at about the 11 o'clock position for me on the bench to start working out. Like, all right, whatever. I finish my first set of rope crunches and I'm taking a break. I start to set up the second set. I'm watching the man, and I couldn't do the rope crunches. I had to watch him. It was that interesting / bizarre / oh my God moment. Um, for those of you who train with weights, you know what a one-arm dumbbell row is. For those of you who don't, so I can do that. It kind of similar looks like this. You've got one arm on the bench, one leg on the bench, and you've got the dumbbell in this hand hanging down, and you would, from the floor or hanging position, full way up to contraction, back down. 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps. I'm watching this guy, and this is all I'm seeing. I'm thinking, okay, this guy looks like he knows how to work out. This has got to be one of those YouTube pranks or getting the reaction of somebody watching. So I'm not going to overreact. I'm just like, whatever. I start my crunches up again. And he goes from the right hand dumbbell row, sits back, picks up the weight like he's going to do dumbbell curls in his left hand. And again, the way he was sitting, I would never sit like that with my arm this way across my thigh to do curls like that. It's almost like a concentration curl, but not really. And again, you would think that the motion would be like this with the curl. And all I'm seeing is this. And I'm like, okay, again, this has got to be a prank. But no, he does that, goes back to the right side like he's starting his lawnmower, only it looks like he's pleasuring himself from the back. Just, okay, whatever. I finish up my crunches, and my wife came over. We found out her friend wasn't coming, so I ran my wife through her routine. About 35, 40 minutes later, I stop in the restroom to take a leak before we go back. Same guys in the bathroom. Now, this particular Planet Fitness, I mean, it's laid out nice if it was a normal place. They got 4 sinks across in the urinals and the stalls to wash up. The gentleman who works there, Angelo, the custodian, very, very good at what he does. Everything's always spick and span, perfectly clean. Great man. As you go out of there, they have the showers on both sides. So they have like 6 to 8 showers. And as you go around the corner where the lockers are, they have another bunch of mirrors and a place to clean up, use your razor, whatever you're going to do. Not this guy. As I walk in to take a leak, he's standing there, thank God not totally naked, standing there in his skivvies, his razor out, shaving cream, toothbrush, and a bunch of other toiletries. I'm like, dude, there is a room for that, right? What? Yeah, I had to, I had to leave. I was like, people are just so fucked up. It's amazing. Anyway, enough about that guy. So before that guy, as I was doing my shoulder workout, I came across the 2 young men who I'd seen in there before. I mentioned them on previous rants. With the very casual gym atmosphere clothing. I have to ask, maybe you folks can tell me, when did Walmart type lounge pants, when I was growing up, they called them PJs. When did that become acceptable wear to go to the gym? Come on. As like they're coming out of the bathroom to start walking to the weights. And I've seen these guys before. I mean, the one with the lounge pants, he definitely likes his training partner, I think, more than a training partner. This is the same guy who was there before in his PJ pants, his yellow Pokemon socks, and his Crocs. This time he just had his green plaid lounge pants on, at least a colored t-shirt this time, and again the Crocs. And he's uncomfortably close and giggling with his training partner slash partner in crime slash only friend slash semen donor. Anyway, this dude might be 120 pounds, soaking wet, and walks to this stuff. They're over there doing arms, of course. And again, I know everybody wants to be, as the great Ronnie Coleman said, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Nobody wants to pick up no heavy ass weights. So these two young men are sitting there together, training their biceps with the 10-pound dumbbell curls, giggling with each other. They finish, and of course, after they finish doing curls with the 10-pound dumbbells, they're flexing the biceps, or the pipe cleaners, if you will, in the mirror. Like, dude, stop. And that partner's feeling his other buddy's bicep. I'm like, no, I'm not witnessing this. I started way back in there, like 40 years ago. I'm an old fuck. I started like 40 years ago. You didn't do shit like this in the gym, you know? There was another couple of dudes in there training together. I'll get to the part I'm going to rant about that in a minute. And I see him walk by his buddy. His buddy must have been doing a decent job on the lat pull downs, and he's rubbing his back and patting his lower back. Good job. Like, can you imagine in the movie Pumping Iron, Robbie Robinson walking up behind Arnold Schwarzenegger and rubbing his lower back, going, "Great job, Arnie. Great job. You're doing great, my buddy." Rubbing his traps. For the love of God, man, stop. Just stop. Back to the appearance thing. So again, I joke with my wife saying we're going to the gym / Walmart, or the Walmart of gyms. You always see something, you can't help but go, what the fuck? You have to look. You can't look away. It's like a freaking traffic accident. I see this dude, and I say dude because I had to look 3 or 4 times to verify it was a dude. It was either a dude or a very ugly, heavy-set woman. And again, I try not to judge anyone, but your common set, your brain just goes, what am I looking at? I mean, if you saw a dog in the gym with antlers and a lion's tail, you'd have to look and go, what the fuck is that? Is that a dog? Is that a lion? Is that an antelope? You have to know. So I look for a minute, kind of casually, subtly, and yes, the individual has an Adam's apple the size of my fist. It's a guy with either falsies or very heavy man boobs, women's exercise yoga pants. Now, if you've seen fat guys, or I should say skinny fat, you're kind of skinny fat. You're not really fat, but what you do have is a lot of body fat. Even though you might not weigh 300 pounds, you're fat. And guys, for whatever reason, a lot of times don't have an ass. So this guy's got a little bit of a gut, the fake boobies, flat as an ass, as a pancake ass. And I'm just looking like, okay, that's a dude, whatever. And a couple minutes later, around the corner comes dudes. I'm guessing significant other. Very heavy guy. Got the big bushy beard. And he must have noticed I was looking at a significant other because he's just kind of glaring at me from the left side of the guy. I refuse to call it a woman because it's not a woman. It's a guy. So he's looking on the left side of his guy over at me, just kind of like mean mugging. I'm like, dude, I said nothing to your partner. I said nothing. I looked, the thing that came to mind, my wife loves to watch 600-Pound Life for whatever reason. And every time you see the huge 600-pound individual, they always do something outrageous, like dye their hair green, fluorescent green, or purple, or red, and then wonder why people stare at them. People don't stare at you because you're 600 pounds. People are fat. I get that. I don't judge. But if you're going to have your head look like a troll from the 70s, people are going to look. We can't help it. We're humans. We look at curiosities. It was the same thing with this. If you're going to come to the gym with your hair in a big poofy mom bun with an Adam's apple, wearing the clothes you're wearing, people are going to stare. Don't be upset if they stare. If you don't want people to stare, don't dress like that. Again, back to the really heavy people, the 600-pound folks. If you don't want people to stare at you, here's a clue. Don't make yourself a walking advertisement to be stared at. If you have orange, yellow, and green rainbow hair, people are going to look at you. And then once they look at you, they're going to see that 600-pound frame. And they're going to maybe at Walmart see your grocery cart full of Twinkies and ring dings and every other thing that's not healthy and go, you're doing that to yourself. I don't judge. Okay, here's my thing. Just like with the guy who wants to be a woman or thinks he's a woman or trying to be a woman, I'm not judging you. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you dress. I don't care if you feel like you're a woman. You can believe anything you want. If you want to believe you're a chick, God bless you, more power to you. You have the God-given right to act like that, to feel like that, to be that. What you don't have the right to is to force the rest of us to buy into your fantasy that this is real. I know you're not a woman. I can tell just biologically by that humongous Adam's apple, you aren't a woman. I'm not going to pretend you're a woman. I'm not going to address you as ma'am. I'm not going to address you as lady. You're a dude. I'm not going to go out of my way to call you out on it, but I'm also not going to buy into your fantasy. I'm sorry. Same thing with the fat people, You can be what you want to be. If you want to eat that way and look that way, God bless you. I don't care. I don't judge. Okay. I saw a gentleman in the 30-minute workout room at Planet Fitness on my way out yesterday. I think he's just recently signed up and started coming there. Very heavy man. I think he's got health issues. He's got, I don't know what they're called. My wife wears one around her forearm here to keep pressure off the tendon here. The dude's got two of them just below his knees. I'm assuming it's to take pressure off the tendons and stuff in his knees. Dude's been there about a week. Every time I see that man, he is busting his ass either on the cardio circuit in the weight room, or he's on that crunch machine, or he's on the treadmill. He is busting his ass. He is there because he wants to get healthier. He is there no matter how big he is because he wants to train. And to me, that's an inspiration. When I used to train at Universal Fitness in Northampton, I used to see a gentleman come in almost every day. I used to go early, 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. This guy would wheel up the ramp in like the electric wheelchair, rascal, whatever you want to call it, wheel himself into the gym, haul himself with crutches out of that fucking chair into the machines and bust his ass. I mean, he was out of shape and he was heavy because obviously he couldn't walk around and do what he wanted to. But to me, that dude was an inspiration. I'd be in bed going, it's freaking cold today. It's like 18 degrees on February 14th. Do I want to get out of bed and go to the gym? I could just lay here and go late. And you know what? That dude's in his fucking chair, motoring to the gym as I'm coming up with this excuse. Fuck you. You have no excuse. Get your ass to the gym. He was an inspiration. So there's my rant on that. I don't judge people. Okay. Just don't give me shit if you see me looking and you assume it's about you. Don't assume. Okay. Unless, of course, you're one of those dudes like that guy who wants to be a chick. Because there is no way in hell anybody's going to look at you and mistake you for one of the Thailand ladyboys that can win a beauty contest because they look that good and they pass that good as a female. You don't come across that way, dude. You look like a very fat dude trying to be a chick. And again, more power to you, but don't try to make me believe it and buy into the fantasy. Not gonna happen. Enough said on that topic. All right. Again, I'm going to rant with the entourage thing. Why? I ranted a little bit on this last week about the homies who look like they escaped cell block C with 7 of them training together for like an hour on the bench press. Who needs an hour on the bench press? You know? All right. So you're training with 6 other guys and you're all doing bench. Okay, taking 8 minutes between sets. It kind of defeats the purpose of working out. You know, the purpose is to exhaust the muscle. It's receiving a micro trauma. And then you go home, you feed the body with protein and repair it, and it will grow and recover. Spending that much time between sets and not taxing the muscle and then grabbing a handful of Tootsie Rolls on the way out, it's just wasting time and taking up space and equipment people who want to train could use, you know? It annoys me. I'm sorry. Especially this time of year when all the new people are coming in. There's like 4, maybe 5 Smith machines at this Planet Fitness. They were all full the other day. And again, it's with people just hanging out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fucking train, do your intense workout, and then get the fuck out. You know, look back to Dorian Yates. The man spent 40 minutes at a time in the fucking gym, going to total failure and beyond, not fucking around. He's in there training, and then he left. Fucking 6-time Mr. Olympia. And he didn't spend all this time fucking dicking around with his homies about, you know, who's doing what, where you're going after this, and who's banging who, you know. Train, get the fuck out, come back again the next day, repeat. It's a really simple process, okay? And on the same topic of wasting time, my wife gets pissed at me because I can't help it. I mention it and I get looks where she was doing waiting to do leg extensions. Actually, one day I put her through all her paces, had done the seated leg curl. We're waiting one more machine to do leg extensions. One girl on the machine busting her ass. Took a little too long in between sets, but she was working out. This dude, okay, I haven't come up with the proper nickname for him yet. He's there a lot. He hates my gut. I can tell he hates me. He's sitting there. He does a set of leg extensions. Pulls out his phone. And after about 2 minutes, I'm like, dude, put the fucking phone away. It's been 2 minutes. Do your next set. You've got people. Obviously, we're standing here. I got a bag on my shoulder glaring at you. My wife is standing here waiting for the machine. Do your fucking sets. Get out. Boom, boom, boom. I go tap my wife a gentle shove, joking around. I'm like, hey. And she's like, what? I'm like, that's what you're doing wrong. That's why your legs aren't where they should be yet. She's like, what? What are you talking about? You are not texting near enough between sets. That's the secret to muscle growth. And the kid's like, stop texting. And he's looking. He just kind of looks up, goes back to texting, puts the phone in his pocket. I'm like, it had to be said, dude. Okay. So Friday, again, we're sitting there. This Planet Fitness has 2 bench press machines. Okay. Not a huge fan of these kind of bench press machines, but they work for my wife and her friend. So this very older macho looking lesbian woman is on one. And on the next one is very early 20 something fat kid. And I don't mean fat as in obese. He does not train. This guy is not at the gym to train. He's there to waste time and hope some chick or dude thinks he's attractive enough to hit on him. He's not. Okay. And both of them, I was losing my shit. Both of them do a set. Now, at least the old lady was pushing. She was working on her set. The kid, I don't know how much he had on the bar, but he's just like 30 reps, stops, pulls out the phone. I'm not kidding. 6 fucking minutes. We weren't waiting for the bench press machine, thank God, or I would have grabbed him by the fucking throat and pulled him off the machine and went, we're working in, have a seat, text over there. But he's just texting, literally 6 fucking minutes. Puts his phone down, goes back, cranks out another set of 30 reps. I mean, he no weight. He could have literally just gone like this with his hand and got the same workout. Okay. Literally another 5 minutes in between. I'm like, dude. And of course, I nudged my wife again. I'm like, hey, this is the joke I'm always telling you about. And she's like, what? This is the old joke about back in the day and now. You had Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia, in the gym. Yeah, nothing but a peanut, baby. Nothing but a peanut. Lightweight. Getting under 800 pounds and squatting, busting his ass. I think the famous video, he got like 6 reps with 800 pounds. Racks the thing. And somebody had joked with him once. I mean, it's a joke in general. Making fun of the times. They're like, oh, I wonder what would Ronnie Coleman say if we asked him if there was anything he would have done different or regretted about his training. And then, of course, the joke is Ronnie says, well, I wish I had texted a little bit more between sets. If I had texted more between sets, I might have got 8 reps on that 800-pound squat. And she's just rolling her eyes, shaking her head at me, going, you need to stop. This bothers you way too much. I'm like, no, it should bother more people. I mean, yeah, it's relatively ridiculously cheap. Most of these people don't do the Black Card membership to get the free tanning and all the other free stuff. They do the $10 a month. They don't give a shit. if they ever even go back again. They'll go 2 or 3 times a year and be like, well, it's only $10. Whereas people like us, I go because she likes to go there, and I get unlimited free tanning. I can jump on the massage chair or the massage bed while she's doing something else. But a treadmill's a treadmill. I can get on any fucking treadmill. So I do my cardio there while she's training. And I'm running, I get to train people there. It's relatively cheap for the people who want to see if they want to train. But still, people are paying money to come here. They want to train, and they have to wait for some kid who really could give 2 shits on a bench press. Texting. All right. I gotta stop. I'll get too pissed about the planet shitness. Yeah, it bugs the shit out of me. What was the last thing I was going to talk to you guys about? All right. Last thing. Okay. I mentioned before in the rants and also in my posts on Instagram, I think the biggest problem with this country, one of the biggest problems with the economy, with the government, with healthcare, you should not be allowed to do pharmaceutical commercials and especially target them to older people. I mean, I get more than my share of them because I don't watch a lot of TV. Okay, I'll watch First 48, some of the other, crime stuff, and I'll watch sports on TV. Other than that, I just videotape. Can't say videotape anymore. That's old people talk. DVR, Game Show Network, because I miss the old days. I like to watch Match Game on DVR. As you get to the commercial, every fucking commercial from October to December is about Medicare. Okay, right now, the open thing is done. They're back to hyping every fucking drug they can. Okay. And they can say shit. I mean, all the last 2 years, if you posted anything on social media, I'm quite sure 99% of you have gotten the warning. Fact checkers say that's not true what you posted. Okay. But you can do that in a pharmaceutical commercial and nobody says boo. Because Big Pharma is greasing the shit out of the politician's palm and they're getting kickbacks. Okay. So one of my buddies on Facebook posted the other day, apparently there's a nationwide backlog and backorder status for Ozempic. Not really sure. Again, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Used to be if you were diabetic, you used insulin. You had A1C issues, you watched your diet. Now it's Ozempic. It'll lower your A1C. It'll do this. And though it's not designed for it, you may just lose some weight. So apparently, people are now going to their physician, requesting, bugging, demanding to get Ozempic for weight loss. So the diabetics who do need it can't get their Ozempic. And it just irritated me. And I was telling my wife the story about how back in the day, late 90s, a lot of bodybuilders and fitness chicks and athletes were using ephedrine. Ephedrine has been safely used for over 5,000 years, starting with Chinese medicine way back in prehistory, all the way up until this time in the 90s and early 2000s. It was discovered that it is a bronchodilator, but it also, much like another bronchodilator, clenbuterol, will raise your core body temperature, which in turn burns calories through thermogenesis. Your body will actually burn calories for heat. It works great as a fat burner. Bodybuilders have been using it for eons. And nobody said shit until Big Pharma decided there's a buck to be made here. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, they decided we're going to hype all these dangers of ephedrine. So there was a gentleman, I believe his name was Corey Stringer. I could be wrong on the name. He was a professional football player. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, he was playing for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, showed up for training camp. Training camp, I believe, is like July and August starting time for professional football. It gets really hot in Arizona in July and August. Okay. Now, the man showed up to training camp, some 40 pounds overweight. Now, this isn't like your Uncle Joe showing up somewhere 40 pounds overweight. This is a football player. I believe he was a lineman. So he's in the high 300s anyway. Now, somebody that heavy shows up 40 pounds overweight, there's going to be a problem. Okay. Now, one of the things as a trainer you probably are trying to do in the NFL, quickly get these guys to drop fat, you're going to also restrict their fluid intake. So you've got this gentleman who's using ephedrine for weight loss. Okay. The ephedrine is raising his core body temperature to burn extra calories. Already a bad combination. Extra freaking heat coming off your body in Arizona in the summertime. Not a good idea. Throw in limiting water on top of that. Recipe for disaster. And yes, died on the field. And huge fuss was made over it. And then they followed another dude, Steve Beckler, I believe his name was. He was a 23-year-old prospect for the Orioles. Same thing. Ephedrine, blah, 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 died. And then you had another one where fact checkers would have come in handy. I was researching it today. College football prospect named Rashid Wheeler at Northwestern University. Died at practice. The preliminary cause of death was listed as bronchial asthma, but teammates say he may have taken a performance enhancer that contained ephedrine. So rumor, not data, and innuendo, not truth, ramped up the hype train and declares it's dangerous. Now, it doesn't help when they're throwing the words performance enhancer with ephedrine. If you're an athlete who relies on speed, cardio, and all the other stuff in your chosen sport, ephedrine will not enhance your performance. Ephedrine limits your cardio capabilities. It makes doing cardio on the treadmill a bitch. You're out of breath, okay, and it's dilating your lungs and everything for the asthma, the bronchial spasms. Doesn't improve your performance. What it does do is burn fat and then help you shed fat. Now, if that's performance enhancing, that's fine. But to me, performance enhancing is being able to hit the ball farther, being able to throw the ball farther, being able to run faster. But we'll put that aside. So they made a huge deal about this. It's dangerous. It'll kill people. There must have been 80 deaths last year for people using ephedrine. 80 deaths out of 300 million people. God, that's an emergency. Now, again, Big Pharma doesn't give a shit about 80 deaths. But they were about to release cutting-edge miracle drugs for fat burning. Orlistat and Meridia. Now, Meridia no longer exists. They had to take that off the market because, oh shit, where are my notes? Here we go. So both miracle drugs failed. Now, Meridia caused, shit, I lost my notes again. There we go. Okay. Meridia, otherwise known as sibutramine, is no longer available in the U.S. due to abnormal liver tests in 1 out of every 60 people. It also causes depression, psychosis, mania, suicidal thoughts, and suicide. So both miracle drugs fizzled out, and orlistat. Uh, orlistat was the fun one. Orlistat, it used to be, it would cause oily evacuation, oily rectal leakage, flatulence with discharge, and steatorrhea, which is too much fat in your stool. It caused fat malabsorption that could affect one or several organs and fecal incontinence. That sounds like fun. But anyway, that's what it is. So you could take orlistat, which gave you greasy stools, the inability to control your stools. You could shit yourself spontaneously. And if you had a fart, there was a good chance you were going to have oily discharge when you farted. And this drug costed about, I believe back in the 2000, 2002, it was like $80 for a month of the orlistat. The Meridia was much safer than ephedrine, which, when used according to the label, was safe. They actually had people losing their shit and their panties in a bunch because they tried to ban ephedrine. And the oversight committee looked at it and said, well, we've got no adverse reactions. When you follow the label, it's safe. But if you start doing the 1 is good, 10 is better, that's when you run into problems. Limiting water intake, bad things can happen. So then they came up with, yeah, but if you take that stuff and boil it down, you can make methamphetamine out of it. Well, you can with pseudoephedrine too, which is still in cold medications, but you can still buy that. There was a book to be made here. So, ephedrine, you could buy 90 capsules of this. It used to come, you could buy it at the old Cumberland Farms. Way back in the day when it was just a convenience store / truck stop / coffee hole. You could buy mini thins at the counter, 90 tabs. It was 25 milligrams of ephedrine, and I believe 200 milligrams guaifenesin, which is an expectorant to cough stuff out of your lungs. So you could get 90 tabs for $5.99. I used to buy it a lot. So $6 for basically a whole month supply, or $80 for a 28-day supply of orlistat, and you didn't shit yourself on the ephedrine. But anyway, so yeah, again, it just goes to show, if Big Pharma thinks it can make a buck, it's going to hawk the shit out of it on TV. I've mentioned before, my cousin and my uncle live in Sweden. It is illegal in Sweden, and also I think most of the UK, for Big Pharma to advertise on TV. There is no, hey, ask your doctor about this drug. Ask your doctor about that drug. The way they figure things in Sweden and the UK, if your doctor thinks it's going to help you, your doctor will tell you, not the other way around. So again, we got all kinds of people being told to ask their doctor for this and getting a little, hey, also, it might make you lose weight, and you don't have to actually eat right, and you don't have to exercise. Just take this drug. Even though it's not designed for weight loss, maybe you'll lose a pound or two. So yeah, I hate the things that go on in this country with the way that they do it. Big Pharma, tobacco, all these big billion-dollar corporations just, hey, Speaker of the House, hey, Congressman, let me make this donation over here, and you just allow this shit to pass. Yep, money talks, bullshit walks. So, yep, that's my rant for this week. Words of wisdom: if you're going to go to any gym, don't do the shit I talked about today. Do not do that at a gym like Powerhouse. Somebody will tune your ass up in the locker room. Don't do that. Um, I've never been out to Gold's Venice, unfortunately, yet, but I'm assuming somebody like that, you don't want to do this retarded shit either. It's one thing if you got your friend with the phone out filming your workout because you're putting content on your page and you're trying to make a buck here. And that's one thing. But when you're both sitting there, don't do that shit, please. Train hard, eat right, lots of water, and don't be a douchebag in the gym. Okay? If there's anything interesting you guys want to see ranted about, hit me up. Maybe I still want to videotape some of these people at the gym. My wife will not let me. So we'll see what I can do about that. But until next week, have a great time. Be safe in the gym. Be smart in the gym. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. You get notifications on my content. I'm going to be doing a weekly rant. I'm also doing a weekly check-in with my coach, John Romano. I hope you guys saw the first one. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. Peace out, guys. Whoa.